Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Magic from Creativity for Sale podcast, a quick fire episode sharing tips and tricks from the pages of the book of the same title. Yes, Creativity for Sale. Every week I'll be sharing 1 or 2 ideas that could give you an actionable takeaway for your creative career, your business, or just a food for thought for the weekend ahead. These tips are taken from the audiobook and you can find a link to the full version in the show notes. Today's episode is called Creative Bravery, and it's a part of the first chapter of the book, which nearly didn't exist. My first editor didn't like it, didn't want to keep it in the book, and I rallied and make sure it stayed, and it somehow turned out to be one of the most shared section of the book by quite a few readers. So I'm very happy that I stood my ground. I'm not always right on these things, but Creative Bravery kind of stands for the fact that, it's you need to start somewhere. You need to start somewhere and make the first line, the first circle, the first step, and it will take you somewhere to the places. And you know what? Who cares? Who cares what people think? So I'm not going to spoil the rest. Enjoy.
Creative bravery. Some of us may not realise this, but we're all born with the gift of creativity. Even as a baby, we display many creative tendencies in the decisions we make, in our curiosity, in the way we experience the world sensorially, and in how we build and make things, however rudimentary these things might be. Equipped with crayons, poster paints and/or glue sticks, children are often artistic powerhouses, churning out work far faster than their works of art can feasibly be displayed on the already growing art collection stuck on the fridge in every family kitchen. The reason for this intense work rate is because children don't worry about strategy. They don't bother with mood boards, sketches, planning and swatches, and they don't worry about feedback from their peers, contemporaries or clients. They don't worry about the outcome. They are entirely focused on the act of making, creating and exploring. So their work is raw, unfiltered and uncensored. They get lost in the process and stay there for a while. Sadly, this devil-may-care attitude to creativity is often bashed out of us, sometimes at school with a flippant, unkind word from an art teacher, sometimes through parents more concerned about their offspring getting a proper job than exercising their creative muscle, and often through an education system that underfunds and underappreciates the value of expression and creative flair. In society's way of thinking, creativity isn't what we should strive for in a career. It takes on different forms and doesn't always show us our career path ahead. We're also often our own worst enemies here, because as we get older we become more concerned about what others think of us, and we fret so much about making things perfect that we actually stifle our creativity into inertia. Indeed, one of the most valuable things to remember in a creative career or hobbyist art making is that nothing will ever be perfect, and it doesn't need to be perfect for you to put it out there into the world. What this means is, if you're thinking of or in the process of starting a creative business of one, then whether you feel creatively talented or creatively strong enough right now should not be a barrier. It's okay not to be perfect, and it's okay to offer yourself and your creative services to the world anyway. You need to start somewhere, and you might as well start now. I understand that looking at the possibility of a creative career can feel extremely daunting, but the reality is that we can't do it all, we can't make it all, and we can't be perfect. It's normal to have concerns though, and you may be thinking, why bother? Everyone is more talented than me. Well, they aren't necessarily more talented, but they are likely to be a bit further ahead on their journey than you, and that's fine. Nobody is born as a fully formed concert pianist, script writer or coding guru. In the classic nature versus nurture debate, even if we believe that some people are preternaturally talented, we can all safely agree that they hone their skills through hours and hours of practice and learning. Either way, simply thinking and believing, I'm going to do this, is the first step on your creative career. and the one that will take you where you want to go. It's time to take that first step.